on here, man. All right. Today, we're going to talk about cameras. Now, as a drummer or just any other musician, sometimes you want to record yourself. You want to see, hey, do I look good? Do I sound good? Sometimes the live streams, if there even is a live stream wherever you're playing, if someone's already recording you, good. But most of the time, they're not. So then it's up to us. We got to set up our cameras, set up our audio, etc. Well, here's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about cameras, okay? We're going to talk a little bit about audio, but mostly what I want to talk about is the why, how to get started, and where maybe you can start. Here we go. Let's get right into it. So the cameras that we're going to talk about are mainly for recording purposes, for video purposes, of course. Now, there are cameras that are specifically meant for photography. There are also cameras that are specifically meant for vertical videos, for example, Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts or even TikTok. There are other cameras that are more meant for long form videos like regular YouTube videos or if you want to post on Facebook. And again, we're going to talk a little bit about what horizontal and vertical videos are and what they mean. But again, today, I just want you guys to know how you guys can just potentially get started. You don't have to drop a bunch of money. Most of you already have either some, if not most of these things, but we just don't know how to use it correctly. I'm not a professional videographer. I'm not a professional on setting up audio. I'm not. But over the years, this is what I've learned, and this is what I want to share with you, okay? So first up, video, of course. How do we get started on video? You're probably already watching this on something that can record video, which is your cell phone. It could be either a cell phone, an iPad, something that just records video, right? You probably do it all the time for celebrations, graduations, birthday parties, whatever. If you go to concerts, you probably already record videos. Your cell phone. It doesn't really matter how old or how new the cell phone is. I take that back. It might matter, okay? But most cell phones already record in what we call 1080p. So that's basically like your HD quality. Anything lower than that, you can already start telling the difference that it's not high quality, I guess you can say. But 1080p and up, basically you're good to go. A lot of iPhones, even Androids, already record in 4K, even 5K video. And you've probably already heard about that in cinema and whatever. There's already a 4K setting, and 4K is like high quality is even better than HD. But most of the time, 1080p HD video is more than enough, okay? Again, your cell phone, you already have one. You don't have to go out and buy something additional. You just have your phone. Now, I'm gonna talk about the pros and the cons of each of these cameras, but I just kind of want to talk a little bit about each one first and then go over the pros and cons. So, your iPhone, your Android phone, you record it either horizontal for YouTube, vertical for Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts. You're done. You're ready to go. You're ready to start recording. Now, of course, most of these things are going to need a tripod. I don't think you're going to want to have someone just kind of like standing there recording you for 30, 45 minutes or whatever the case is. So a tripod, okay, get something cheap. Something that might be durable as well might help. But you know what you need. You know what your needs are. And you can probably make your own little invention there. Cool. Cell phones. That's the first step. Basically free. We already have one. But what if you want to kind of like upgrade a little bit, right? You want a camera, okay? You want to set up a camera, maybe something a bit more discreet. That is where GoPros come in. Now, this is the GoPro 11 Mini. I think they're at the 13 already, if I'm not mistaken. Before this one, I actually had like a GoPro Hero 3 Plus, which it's years old, but it still did the job. Now, what are GoPros known for? They're small, they're tiny, right? I mean, I know this is a red phone case, but if you want to just set this up somewhere, most of the time, people aren't even going to notice. This doesn't even have any screens on it, so there's nothing like flashy or bright. If you want a screen, obviously you can go and buy one. I just found this one on sale, so it worked out for me. But yeah, this already records in 4K, like standard. I can downgrade it to 1080p, but 4K, it works for me, right? And what's nice about GoPros is that they have that nice wide shot. And again, most of the time, they're very small, they're very compact, and they have so many attachments, right? Again, I'm going over the pros a little bit later, but GoPros. Now, this might set you back if you want to buy one used, $100, $150. You want to go buy one new, $200, $300. So it all depends on your budget. If you want to go out and you want to splurge a little bit, this might be for you. All right, GoPros. They are known as action cameras, so they're not really, you know, like, oh, this is what musicians are known for. But because they're compact and discreet, you just want to, again, level up just a little bit more. This is where we go into what we call point and shoot cameras, okay? This is a Sony ZV-1F, has a little flip out screen, okay? And this has a fixed lens, just like your GoPro, just like your cell phone. You can't zoom in, you can't zoom out. But what's nice about this is that, I mean, it looks fairly compact, right? I know it's white, so if you want to kind of like be a bit more discreet, you can maybe hide it behind something. But what's nice about this is that the price was only $500, okay? There are cameras out there, Sony's, that are like $1,000. But because it has a fixed lens, it's a little smaller, that's why it was so cheap. But it works. This also records 1080p 4K, so you're gonna get that nice crisp quality, right? And then the nice thing about this is that flip out screen. So I know this is like for vloggers, right? So maybe we're not vlogging, but you can set up your shot. You can see exactly where you're gonna be and how you're gonna look when you're setting up your shot for whatever. I mean, as a drummer, right, I want to make sure the whole drums come out. That's the nice thing about this. So we're going a little bit up in price, right? But is it worth it? We'll see. Last but not least, we have what we call a DSLR, okay? There's DSLRs, there's something called mirrorless cameras. I'm not going over specs, I'm not going over specifics. I'm just gonna talk about it, you know, in layman's terms, right? As simple as possible. Again, most of us are not videographers, we're musicians, right? We wanna just play, and we don't really wanna set up like, oh, I wanna check the, I wanna check the white balance and the exposure and this and that. There's people who go into that and their shots look amazing, but I don't. I want something that I could just set up, hit record, and I'm done. This is the Canon Rebel T7. Now this is fairly older, 5, 6, 7 years ago. I think it came out, and I think it was about $600 or $700. It's a little bit more expensive. But what are you paying for exactly? It is a bigger body, so it's not as discreet as a GoPro, right? But what you're paying for is this, the lens, the glass, right? And what's nice about recording with glass is that you're gonna get that quality. I mean, this records in 1080p, okay? And you're gonna get that quality, that blurry background, like it's just a nice shot, okay? This is a wide angle lens as well, so I can kind of set it up fairly close to me, okay? It has a screen on the back, so you can kind of see like how you're gonna set up your shot. Again, when you go and sit down, you're not gonna be able to see it because the screen's on the outside, but it works, okay? I've used all these cameras already. There are videos already on my YouTube channel with all of these cameras already, and I'm gonna go over that, and I'm probably gonna show you guys examples of how each camera actually looks and the quality of it. But this gets the job done, okay? And again, this can zoom in a little bit, zoom out, right? And it's just nice. It's durable, it's sturdy. You're paying a little bit more money. These are probably cheaper now. You could probably get some more expensive ones now today, what I spent for this one, but is it worth it? Let's go backwards now. Let's go back to your phone, okay? Pros and cons about recording with your cell phone. Pros, you already have it. You don't have to go out and buy one. You might have 2, 3 cell phones already. You might have an iPad already that you can just set up and record. That's so nice, it's so convenient, and the quality is pretty good. A lot of the videos that I've seen people just recording with cell phones are uploaded on YouTube, and they're fine. They're HD quality. Cons, storage. If you're using your cell phone as your everyday use, you already have pictures on your phone. You already have apps and messages and this and that. We use our cell phones for everything. Storage kind of sucks. Unless you already splurge on like a 1 terabyte iPhone, then you're probably good to go. You're probably never gonna run out. But you know, if you're not using it for that and you only got 64 gigs or 128 gigs or whatever, your storage is gonna run out, okay? So the downside, whenever I record on my phone, I have to record, I have to edit, upload, and then I have to delete it. I have to make space. I normally only have about 30 gigs left over every single time, so I wanna make sure I have enough, or else your phone is just gonna stop recording. It's just gonna stop, and then you're not gonna have room for anything else. So that's the con. Again, your phones, you already have it, so you just set it up and you start recording. Another con, sometimes they overheat. Sometimes, you know, it's happened to me before. It's just kind of stop recording like out of nowhere. If you get like a notification, it might pick it up. I'm not too sure. I know you could put it like on airplane mode or like on silent mode, and then that won't happen. But a pro is that, again, we're kind of going to talk a little bit about audio. When you record video as a musician, you want it to sound good, okay? If you set up your phone, and iPhones already have really good preamps. So if I set up my phone here and I just start drumming, the audio levels they're gonna be decent, okay? They're not gonna be great, but they're gonna be decent. But if you want something a bit more, at least for iPhones, you need to buy an iRig. An iRig then connects, this doesn't have a headphone slot, so you're gonna need the iPhone adapter, right? But you need to connect it into your headphone slot, connect whatever cable, wherever you're gonna get your audio from, into that iRig, and then you already have your audio and your video synced up, and it's so nice, it's so convenient. I would say 90% of the time, if I'm recording with my phone, I do that, okay? Whether it be vertical, whether it be horizontal, I just connect that audio, video, sync it up, edit on my phone, upload, boom, done. It's so easy, so convenient. Like I said, the only downside, storage. Sometimes I think you can actually record to like an external storage. I think with the newer iPhones, like the 15s and the 16s, I think you can connect via USB-C. That's super convenient. Just do some more research if you already have one of those phones. But for me, it just works, and that's the nice thing about it. GoPros. Pros, again, they're small, they're tiny, they're compact, and they're fairly durable, okay? I mean, I could probably throw this and it won't break. I'm not going to, because I don't want to break it. I don't want to risk it. But the pros about this is that there's so many adapters, like there's sticky ones, there's ones that can like clamp. This is actually a tripod adapter. I don't know if you can see that. That just connects onto a tripod, right? So then I could just put it almost anywhere. Probably put it right here and you'll get the whole shot. It's a wide angle lens, 4K, right? The only downside to this one, I would say, is probably that it overheats like 9 out of 10 times. Most times as musicians, as a church musician, right, we play anywhere between 30 to 45 minutes, even up to an hour. This stops recording at like 20 to 30 minutes. It just depends on the temperature in the room that I'm in. If you maybe have like a little fan, or if the room is like in a nice little like, you know, AC, right? Maybe you can get like 45 minutes to an hour. Technically, this is not supposed to stop recording. Same thing with your cell phone. It's not supposed to stop recording. It's supposed to record forever and ever and ever until either the battery runs out or your storage runs out, which is never gonna happen, because I have like 128 gigabytes of recording on this alone, and I only record every video is only like 10 gigs maybe, so I can record probably 10 like hours worth, actually no, it's maybe like 5 hours worth of video on this, and it should never stop recording, but it does because it overheats. That's the only downside. Again, they're meant for action, right? They're meant to be outside, and you're running and you're playing and you're doing this and you're doing that, so they're most likely not going to overheat if it's moving around a lot, right? Because there's wind and it's, it's getting that proper, I guess, ventilation. But in a closed room, I mean, I drum in like in a box at church, right? And if you've seen, it gets pretty hot in there, so it just stops recording. Another pro, it actually has a spot for an adapter. Now I'm going to show it on camera now. GoPro has its own adapter. You do have to spend money on it. It's like $50, I think, or 60. But that adapter then connects here. Same thing like the iRig on my iPhone. You connect the audio straight into that adapter. You have your audio synced with the video. And it's so nice. It's so convenient. Sometimes I edit the GoPro videos on my laptop, but sometimes I can actually just sync it via Bluetooth on my cell phone, and I just edit on my phone. Boom, upload, done. And it's so convenient. So again, is it worth the price? Yeah, I would say so. I mean, if it's a slight upgrade, because then you don't have to worry about the storage anymore on your cell phone. You worry about the storage on here, which is almost unlimited if you just swap out SD cards, right? But it's just so nice. I think you can actually live stream with GoPros if you set it up correctly. That's another cool feature too. But GoPros, wide angle shots, so you're supposed to get unlimited recording, and then you can sync your audio. The Sony, pros and cons. The Pro, it has that nice little flip out screen, right? It's nice. If you want to set up your shot, right? This is a wide angle lens, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's like a 20 millimeter. You'll do some research if you want to know exactly about like focal length and whatnot. But this little flip out screen, it's so convenient, especially if I'm a little further away, right? And I might have to push record before I'm able to like kind of see the shot. This is nice, because then I could see like what I'm setting up. Same thing on your phone, right? But the phones don't have that flip out screen. Another pro, this also has unlimited recording and it does not overheat. This has never overheated on me. I don't know what it is. I don't know what they built into it, but Sony is doing a good job on these. There are a lot of other Sony cameras, like the Sony ZV-E10 or the like the Sony A cameras, like the Alpha series, that also have unlimited recording. And they're very similar to this. Again, this is just a fixed lens, so it's just kind of like one shot, and you just kind of have to set it up, like I said, like the GoPro, like my iPhone. But another pro is it also has a headphone jack. You don't need an adapter. You just connect it straight in, boom, synced video and audio. So nice. The only con I guess I could say about this is that maybe I have to edit on my laptop as opposed to my phone. It's so hard to get this synced up to my cell phone, to get like the videos like, you know, transferred over to my phone so I could just edit on my phone. It's so much more convenient to do everything on my phone. But when I'm recording on this, I just have to sit down a little bit longer, you know, take out the SD card, put it into my laptop, edit, upload straight from my laptop. It's not that bad though, okay? It's not that bad. And like I said, for the price, I think this is worth it. You're getting different, I guess, styles when it comes to like the quality. They're all really good, but the quality is just different. That's like the best way I can explain it. Another downside, to be honest, there's not many. I mean, if you think of if the focal length is kind of a downside that you can't zoom in or out, you know, so be it. Maybe the white color, they have these in white and black, I think. So black might be a bit more discreet. There's also cases that you can put on it. Whatever. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that this is another good option. If anything, this might be my favorite, because same thing, I have like 128 gigs on this, so every 30-40 minute video is less than 10 gigs. So, and I record in 4K, so nice option here. Last but not least, this would be my favorite, okay? The DSLR or mirrorless camera would be my favorite. The only downside, the biggest con, actually there's two. The first one, the record limit. This one only records like 10, 12 minutes, and then it stops. It doesn't overheat, it just stops. It doesn't record longer than that. There are other cameras, if you pay thousands of dollars for them, they have unlimited recording. They have interchangeable lenses, right? But this one does not. This is actually a photography camera mostly, but I've used it for video. And it's so crispy, like that glass, like I said, the glass is what you're paying for. And you get that nice little quality. Now, the next downside is that there is no audio. You can't connect audio. You have to connect audio externally, sync it in post, and then upload. It's just a bit more work, right? If you're trying to do everything like that, more convenient, like I said, like me on my cell phone, this kind of hinders that. But there are cameras that have headphone jacks. Even if you only have 10 to 12 minutes, if you know that you're gonna record only 10 to 12 minutes at a time, that might work. You just have to go back, hit record again, and then you're good for another 10 to 12 minutes. Maybe somebody could be doing that for you, but the glass is just so nice. That's what you're paying for. There's also other ones that have flip out screens, just like the Sony, right? But you have to do your research. You're gonna have to do some homework to see what's best for you, to see what works for you. For most, if not all, your phone is gonna be like your best bet. If you already have a lot of memory in here, you can already record probably in 1080p or in 4K. If you wanna upgrade a little bit more, maybe you want another camera for like a second angle, maybe the GoPro's for you. I mean, I would recommend this. Again, maybe you could find another one that's not prone to overheating. But this one does the job for me. I mean, I can get maybe 20 to 30 minutes of video with this perfectly, and then I have another one recording the rest of the service. It works. It just works. This one has never let me down. Again, I just have to make sure the battery's charged. I believe I can record while I'm charging, if I'm not mistaken. But it's never died on me. It's already lasted maybe like at least an hour straight without me turning it off or recharging it or anything like that. So this one is probably my favorite after the cell phone. And then again, if I had a camera that had unlimited record time and audio, like an audio jack, I would I don't care if I have to lug around a big old camera now, you know, like this is just the best when it comes to the glass. Because even a 1080p glass compared to a 4K GoPro, this is just gonna look crispier. It might not be high quality, but to the eye, to like the naked eye, this is fine. there you have it. I just went over 4 possibilities of how to get started. You could buy most of these, if not all of these, either on Amazon, Target, Best Buy. Just do your homework, do some research. If you have questions, let me know. Go on YouTube and go on Google and just Google, you know, best GoPro camera, best DSLR, best mirrorless, best whatever, and you're gonna get a lot of options. These are what works for me. This is what I have on hand, and I've been kind of upgrading little by little. It's not that you have to buy, you know, $5,000 worth of gear and then you're ready. No, start with your phone. If you don't want to spend money, just start with your phone. You don't even have to worry about audio. Just worry about, you know, setting up your shot and working with it, and then focus on audio. I could maybe do another video on audio and how I record audio with each and every one of these cameras, but you guys are gonna let me know in the next video. Thank you for watching. This was a lot of fun, actually. I didn't even touch my drums today, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.